Welcome back, everybody, to the Renaissance Humanism podcast. I do apologize for the video quality at this time. This podcast will also be available on audio form on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts as well. Today's topic, I will be discussing startups and copywriting uh, as a business. If you are listening to this or viewing this, you must be interested in how to start your own business. My experience in this endeavor primarily comes from my work experience in startup environments and how startups work doing digital marketing and copywriting, dedicated primarily to that business practice. For this episode, I'll not mention any names or brands or businesses that I've worked with personally due to legal reasons, confidential agreements, and to avoid any issues regarding potential conflicts I may have. And also, I do work as a freelancer as well in my normal working environment as well. Also, that kind of confidentiality, that kind of trust, just so they know I'm not going to say anything bad about anybody or perceived to be bad for my own cover my own neck as well. So, suppose you want to start your own business. In that case, it's very necessary to understand your own morality, whether you have any moral scruples due to certain business practices that could be viewed as unethical or exploitative. However, what I'm about to tell you doesn't depend on which nature you may have. It's nation you may live in. It's also to do with laws as well in your own country or nation, because different nations they have different employment laws and different rules. So I recommend that you study them, because in no way is this legal advice. Also, you cannot. I will tell you how you can recruit people using internships and possibility of future employment, or that people can build up their CVs and experiences working for your startup company. The second method you can also use in joining your startup is also use Google Workplace or other free online platform services such as Upwork, LinkedIn to build out your organization sales and a recruitment funnel. As a startup, you can expect to work between 10 to 16 hours days because at the moment, at that time, you're going to be your own recruiter, you're going to be a marketer, you're going to be doing all the work yourself because it's just yourself and your laptop. Now, what is a copywriter? Uh, a startup doing copywriting as a business, it may be ideal for people with limited technical skills who don't have the time to learn financial services or other highly sought after professions that can take decades of experience and training to succeed. The basic understanding of copyright is that their function to generate sales or a sales funnel. The basic idea is that any kind of copywriting that you do on printed, online, white papers, articles, that some sort of revenue or use is being taken from that experience, from the experience that you're writing the piece of paper as well. You don't need to be able to write Tolstoy's War and Peace and nearly understand the appropriate reading age as well. For example, for the US, the reading age is 12 to 14 years old. And because of that fact, it's not the actual mental comprehension, merely the actual reading age, but also to be able to understand it. So you can talk about adult content and adult information. It's just that I've used certain sophisticated words or different kind of languages in the reading age group between 12 to 14. There's a good chance to understand. So being an essayist, having kind of those higher level qualifications, higher writing experiences, from my experience, in regard to certain kinds of writing that can be highly counterproductive. For copywriters or aspiring copywriters, to develop business, you need the ability to write and the ability for writing to lead to sale creation. So as long as you have the ability to write and the ability for that to sell, you will be okay. Now we're going to talk about interns and contributors. Uh, in this part, you might find it slightly dubious about the topic of. I'm slightly dubious about the topic of interns, probably due to, from my point of view, it can be unethical to give people work but no financial compensation. Which in reality, from my point of view, they really should be paid for their labour. However, I would also say from my experience as well, it's been common practice for organisations to choose interns and contributors to produce more content that clients are paid for at the expense of others. The organisations that I've worked with regularly employ interns and people in places like India, Pakistan, other places where they have a familiarity with the English language and they can get away with employing these people or giving interns to these people due to either lack of legal protections or that it drives down the price of copy as well. It drives down the price of writing. So, from my point of view, if you're going to write an article of 1,000 words, ideally, you want to be paid between 50 to £100 per 1,000 words. I would definitely say 100 from my own personal experiences. And also, you're doing this freelancing as well. You don't want to charge anything less. You don't know unless you developed a regular pool of clientele. Uh, Using interns and computers is is not paid, which is exploitation. We're not being paid for exploitation. It drives down the price of copywriting writers. However, with this stated, it may be advantageous for startup organizations to use interns and contributors to fill in the gaps within their organization to have writers who can fulfill copywriting, copywriting orders and generate revenues for business revenue. Hope this helps, and today's going to be a short one, and peace out.